Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hacking Self-Storage. It is the 2nd of August. It is Monday morning. And what does that mean? It means I'm going through my week in numbers for you guys. Again, thank you for the awesome messages. I love it. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Keeps my pecker up. I love reading and about what you guys like about the show. So yeah, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to be really quick today. I know you're thinking, what? You always say you're going to be really quick, but then you never are. But I've got to be because Dave Davies is coming down. We're doing some site visits and yeah, really, actually genuinely looking forward to spending the day with Dave Davies. Yeah, just have a good old chat in the car, in the van, and off we go. So yeah, that's why I need to be quick today. Right, so last week in numbers, how was it for me? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it indifferent? Do you know what? Although last week was good, I'm not happy about certain things. And I will tell you about those certain things in the numbers coming up. Another thing that happened for me, really interesting, for you guys who have been obviously going backwards from the podcast, back listening to the podcast, my Beverley site is under threat. Basically, I've got a short lease and the landlord has started his self-storage company up and he wants to kick me out, basically. And no ill feeling whatsoever. It's business, business, business. As I said last week, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't act that way. But if he chose to, fine, business. It just means that it motivates me to want to absolutely crucify him in terms of business. God, do I want to? I want to put him under. Trouble is, I'm too emotionally charged now with this. I want to do what it takes to make sure that we make life extremely difficult for the landlord, because obviously he started up as competition and obviously then he's tried to kick me out of my position. But something very interesting happened last week. You'll notice that I mentioned it. I talked about Swinemore Lane. And I believe that the landlord must have listened to that in some capacity and must have heard it and thought, oh, shoot, he's getting a very, very prominent position. Because what can happen now is I can match his prices if I need to. Because we're in lease up. Hell, baby, we're in lease up. So that means that I will do everything it takes to get customers because it's a new building. We've got all our outdoor units, but I can discount the price. I can do 12 weeks at half price if I need to, 8 weeks half price. I can match his prices and it can be indoor. I can do whatever it takes to make sure that we get the customers because we're in lease up. How you behave in lease up is completely different to how you believe when you're a full mature site. And obviously being emotionally charged about it now, I'm not emotional about it, but I'm motivated. I'm motivated is the right word. Motivated. I'm motivated for this site to be absolutely brilliant and make it incredibly difficult for anybody else in Beverley to get any customers because we've got 11,000 square foot there that we need to fill up. And so we'll be doing offers. It's a prominent location anyway. Spending a lot of money on the new website as well. $7,000, I think it is, including content rating. And we'll probably be rebranding Beverley 24 as Stormore as well. And guess what? With these weekly updates, I'll be updating you every single week as well what is happening with the Beverley site. It just makes sense on numbers. Anyway, so the landlord must have listened to this episode last week because all of a sudden his agent got in contact with me and says, "Hi, Dean." I was like, whoa, Paul's ringing me. So, "Hey, Paul, you all right? How are you doing?" Couldn't get in touch with him for love nor money when I wanted to. And I was like, right, okay, this is interesting. Something's changed. And he said, "Oh, yeah, Dean, I'm just here to see if you want a 20-year lease." I'm like, oh, Paul, that might be a little bit too late. Yeah, I'm probably moving out. I'm going to have a Swinemore Lane part. I said, let me think about it. Let me percolate it over. Because many of you know that my knee-jerk reactions are not very good. I need time to percolate. And by the way, I think that you lead with emotion when you make a knee-jerk reaction. That's why everybody needs time. And so I've realized that. And so if anybody asks me a question, I need a little bit of time to think it over. I might ultimately get the right result at first, but I just need to make sure that, so I think it over. So I thought it over and thought, hang about a minute, is it worth this risk? Are we doing the right thing? But it's made me, do you know what? It's made me realize that I wouldn't have looked for another site in Beverley. I would never, ever have looked to move. However, now I genuinely believe this will be the best thing for the company that we've ever happened to buy this freehold. I really, really do. And I would never have looked until this happened. And now we've been looking, we've seen it. And now it so happens that my landlord wants to keep me where we are. I mean, why wouldn't he? Because otherwise we're not much of a threat to him right now because Beverley can have more self-storage facilities. It's underserviced officially. And so therefore we're normally always full. And so I can't do any damage to him because we're always full and he'll be always full, or he's on lease up stage. So he will gradually get to there because We'll get 1 or 2 customers here and there, but now we've got 11,000 square foot building. I've got somewhere to put the new customers, where now I don't really have anywhere to put the new customers. We gain 1 customer here, we lose 1 customer there, and it's not really a big deal for us. Where now we've got 11,000 square foot of building to actually put people now. So yeah, really, really excited about this journey. And it's like I say, it was a great moment for me when they actually rang up and asked if I could take it for 20 years. Was he listening to this podcast? I don't know. Maybe. Is it just coincidence? Maybe. I don't know. I obviously, for my ego, I like to think that he's listening to this podcast. And for dearie me, I'd rather keep Dean where he is now rather than have that big building there on the main road. Probably not, but who knows? Okay, so my week in numbers. Let's get cracking then. 62 quotes last week. Numbers of quotes gone up again. 62 quotes. Average quotes per day were 8.85. Number of reservations. This is what I'm not happy about. 9. Quotes to reservations. Conversion rate is 14.51%. So 15% if we're being generous. Move-ins. We had 12 move-ins, and that was a conversion rate of 19.35. Again, below where we want to be. And we've got to be careful here, because I'm obviously not blaming our team, because our team are amazing. However, we've got to start looking at things like this. I mean, on Wednesday, by the way, I've already recorded it. On Wednesday, we're doing a podcast about my 20% price increase of 20%. I've got so many emails and letters, and not letters, but so many emails about this, regarding this. So yeah, 20% podcast will come out. 20% increase will update on it, basically, will come out on Wednesday. But this is one of the things. This is one of the KPIs that I've got to keep an eye on, because if the conversions are going down for reservations and move-ins, then that ultimately affects the biggest KPI, which the supporting KPIs are the reservations and conversion rates. The biggest KPI is obviously the revenue. The revenue is good. The revenue is brilliant. However, their supporting KPIs are going down. If the supporting KPIs are going down, inevitably that will have a knock-on effect to the overall bigger KPI, which is obviously the revenue. So we've got to be very, very careful here. Something to keep an eye on. Overall, I do think it's been a brilliant decision to up the prices 20%, because it's had some profound positive impacts on our revenue, our bottom line. But we just also need to be very aware of the conversion rates, the supporting KPIs. We need to be very aware of those, because if they start wavering, if they start declining, then the revenue will ultimately decline at some point. Right, how many forward move-ins did we do? We did 3 forward move-ins. It's something that we're trying to get better at, these forward move-ins, and that is not really good. 33% of them. We want to be well over 50% here. Other move-ins. So we moved in 1,130 square foot. That was 1,130 square foot of new move-ins. We had 5 other move-ins, which means we moved in 1,380 square foot. So really good week for the move-ins. And I'll get to it if we're positive or not in a minute. Number of times the van was rented out. Transit 4. Luton 5. I don't know what I do. I just have a little laugh to myself all the time. Percentage quote breakdown. Google 47. That was 76%. Word of mouth was 5. That was 8%. Passing by was 6. That's 10%. Used before, removals, Bing and leaflet was all 2%. Social media, estate agents, blog was 0. And Bever24, 0 as well. So let's take a quick word from our sponsor. I'll see if my cup of tea is still warm. Here we go. For those of you watching on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever, that I hate cold cup of tea. It's cold. So square foot moved in, 1,380. Square foot moved out, 850, baby. We were positive 530. However, we was negative for July. Negative for July. Amount of rooms moved in, 17. Amount of rooms moved out were 13. We've got 400 internal rooms. We've had 3 containers move in this week. Yippity-doo-doo-doo. That means we've got all 28 containers rented out. Car parking spaces, none in, none out. We've checked it all about. We've still got 13. And store occupancy, if we round it up, it's 90%. If we stick to the exact, it's 89.56. Want to get to that 90% mark. I want to keep to that 90% mark. That would be ideal. However, next week is looking terrible. So probably go down this week. Right. So insurance sold this week. Good week on insurance. £66,000 we've taken on insurance, and the average is that's 5,500. So anything over 5,000 is super duper. So really happy there. Movings due next week is two. These are supporting KPIs, guys. These are the supporting KPIs that prop up the big KPI, the revenue. So not good. 125 due in next week, and 575 is due to move out. 575. So by gum. But like I said, the revenue has been phenomenal. So ultra happy with that. Just opening a weekly revenue sheet. This was good last week. We took £21,691.81 at Stormore. Bounce direct debits were £933.40. So still took some good money, but bounce direct debits very, very high. Revenue at Beverley, good week at Beverley, was £4,686.24, and bounce direct debits are £341. The total for both sites is £26,378.05. This week should be a really, really good week as well for that. Revenue check. I'll give you the revenue check for the whole of July. I've actually got a note on here. I emailed James at 2 minutes to 5 yesterday saying, is this right, buddy? Seems a blooming lot for Stormore. So I can only take it at face value. I believe it's correct. There's no reason why it shouldn't be. True period revenue says 90. This is including VAT, by the way. So if this is a reason why it's different, is because this is including VAT. Normally, when I say true period revenue, it doesn't include VAT. So true period revenue is £90,280.79. Actual revenue, £98,434.76. Wow. So that means we're positive £8,223.97. Beverley, not so. We're not so positive here. Only just negative. Beverley true period revenue, £15,117.21. I believe that it was one of the best months ever for revenue at Beverley. And also this month now, I believe we're about £300 or £400 extra higher than we was last month at this point. So this month, August, should be the best ever in terms of revenue. I believe we've only got one unit available at the minute, and it's a 35 square foot one. So yeah, really good there. So Beverley, £15,117.21. True period revenue. Actual revenue, £14,911.86. So negative of 205 and 35 pence there. Right, guys, girls, I've just checked the time and I have to go. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will see you Wednesday when we're talking about the 20%, the price increase. How has it gone so far? We've done a deep dive into revenue, compared June, July, and August at the 1st of August, and how we're actually doing, what impact it's made on our business, and ultimately, is it been a good move or a bad move? And obviously, it's been a little bit of negative connotations, whatever the word is, in this podcast on it, but that is not ultimately the case because of revenue. So bear in mind, revenue is key, but we've got to support. We've got to remember the supporting KPIs as well. Keep an eye on them. So we'll go into that on Wednesday. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in, guys, girls. I love you. I appreciate you. And I will see you on Wednesday. See you soon. Bye-bye.